Hello, my Spilling the Sweet Tea fam. Welcome back to my channel. This is my first video of 2023. And baby, today we're making turnip greens with the turnip root. Now, y'all already know in my house, swine is fine. So I'm adding 1 piece of ham hock to my pot, period. Y'all always ask me where I get my ham hocks from. I get them from the Hunter Pork Center in Pikeville, North Carolina. I stock up when I go home. Once you cover your ham hock with water and add some olive oil, you want to add some salt and pepper and let it boil until the meat is tender. Now, baby, I found these beautiful turnip greens at Wegmans. I actually made this for New Year's Day. I wanted some collards, but they were out. So I decided to make turnip greens instead because I hadn't had them in a long time. The first thing you want to do is cut off the excess stems, and then for the turnip greens that have a bigger, thicker stem, you want to remove that, just like that. Because turnip green stems can be stringy once they cook down. Just try to remove the bigger ones. The thinner ones are fine. The next thing you want to do is run some cold water in your sink, and then add your turnip greens just like that, and make sure they are submerged in the water. If you don't know what this is the root of a turnip. And in Eastern North Carolina, where I'm from, we eat these together, the turnip greens and the turnip root. After your cooking meat or your ham hock is nice and tender, all you want to do is add your turnip greens to the pot. I'm using a large stock pot to make my turnip greens. All you want to do is add all of your turnip greens to the pot. Just push them down as you go. Turnip greens are more tender than collard greens, so these are not going to take very long to cook. While your greens are cooking, what you want to do is peel the skin off your turnip root. Y'all, when I was peeling this turnip root, I was literally channeling my mother. Like, this is how she used to peel her vegetables. I mean, I literally am the carbon copy of her when it comes to cooking. You want to make sure you peel off the top as well as peel off the bottom. No skin should be left on the turnip root. Now to your turnip green pot, you want to add some whole garlic. I love garlic, so I added about 4 cloves of garlic. Even though you season your water, you want to also season your greens. So add some salt and some pepper as well as some garlic powder to your greens to make sure they're nice and flavorful. Now drop your whole turnip roots into your pot just like this. You don't have to cube them up because at the end, I'm going to show you what they're going to look like and what we do with them down east when we're making turnip greens with the turnip root. Once they cook down and they're nice and tender, they should look a little bit like this. All you have to do to make sure your turnips are tender is just stick a fork directly in the center. And if it goes all the way through, your turnip roots is done. Now this next step is going to floor you because down east, we chop our turnip greens and we also chop our collard greens. This is common in Eastern North Carolina where I'm from. And let me show you how my mama used to do it. She would always add her turnip greens or her collard greens to a bowl that had a flat bottom, no curve. She would make sure she had all of her greens added into the pot. If you have a lot, you can do this in stages. But I didn't have that many turnip greens, so I did it in one batch. Take you a saucer and press down on them greens to get a little bit of that juice out. Or as we say in the South, pot liquor. Drain your pot liquor back into your pot. You want to do this a couple of times until you get most of the juice out of them. Now you want to add your turnips on top of your turnip greens, just like this, and then cut them in half. Bam! Look how tender and beautiful those came out. Like I said, I only used 3 turnip roots in mine. You can add as many as you want. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is chop your turnip greens just like this. This is a chopper that I got off Amazon. This is the type of chopper my mother would have, and she would chop them greens, baby, just like this. This is the Eastern North Carolina way. The last time I posted how I make my collard greens, chopping them just like this, y'all came for me and said I was making it into baby food, but this is how we eat them where I'm from in Eastern North Carolina. Baby, we chop them to the gods. Chop, 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 and then also chop that root into your turnip greens, just like this. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there was no need to cut the turnip root in chunks. Just add it whole into your turnip greens because they're going to be tender and you can just chop them up into your turnip greens just like this. Baby, once you have that turnip root chopped into them greens, it should look a little bit like this. I chose not to chop up any of that cooking meat in my greens, but you can certainly do that if you want. Baby, hear me when I say this is some good eating, especially when you serve it with some fried cornbread. I love fried cornbread. My dad used to make the best fried cornbread, and this is how we eat our turnip greens down east. Baby, we have our cornbread and our turnip greens with the turnip roots in them. This is what I served instead of collard greens on New Year's Day, and this meal was some kind of good. I had my black eyed peas, my turnip greens, my cornbread, my mama's ribs, and some candy yams. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You just got the tea on how to make Eastern North Carolina turnip greens.